Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are kicking off Unit 1 of Software Project Management, one of the most practical units in the subject because it's literally how real software project gets planned, evaluated, and kept from falling apart. We will cover what SPM is, why it matters, the core activities every project goes through, methodologies like Agile and Waterfall, and how projects are categorized, how to set objectives, management principles, portfolio and risk management, and the stepwise planning model. Let's go straight into it. Here is a quick roadmap. We'll go through 11 areas: introduction to SPM, its importance, core activities and methodologies, categorization of projects, setting objectives, management principles and control, portfolio management, cost benefit evaluation, risk evaluation, strategic program management, and step-wise project planning. By the end, you will be able to connect all of these into one big picture. Next. So, what exactly is software project management? SPM is the art and discipline of planning, organizing, and overseeing software development so a product gets delivered on time, within budget, and at the required quality. That gives us the project constraint triangle: time, cost, and scope balanced around quality. Push on one corner, shrink the timeline, and it affects cost or scopes. That trade off is the heartbeat of the project management. Why does software need its own kind of project management? Four reasons. Software is intangible. You can't see for 40% of a program the way you see 40% of a building. There is no standard repeatable process across projects. Projects are often unique and large scale, and technology changes rapidly, sometimes even during the project itself. Importance of software project management. Why does this matter in the real world? There are six reasons mainly. Time and budget control keeps delivery within committed schedule and cost, manages complexity, coordinates people, tools, and changing requirements systematically, reduce risk, identify uncertainty early so you can mitigate before it hurts you, ensures quality, builds in reviews and standards so the product meets user needs, improves visibility, gives stakeholders accurate, ongoing progress information, and aligned stakeholders, keeps the client team and sponsor moving towards one goal. So without SPM, software projects don't just run less efficiently, they tend to fail outright. Core project management activities. So now the life cycle, core activities every project goes through are 5 stages with monitoring running throughout. Feasibility study, assess whether the project is technically and financially viable before committing resources. Next, planning, define scope, schedule, cost, resource, and risk responses. That is exactly where the stepwise model covered later comes in. Execution and monitoring, which tracks the progress using earned values and milestones, take corrective actions. Change control, formally evaluate, approve, and re-baseline when requirement change. And project closure, formal handover, documentation, and post-project review to capture lessons learned. Each stage feeds the next, but monitoring and control run continuously underneath everything. Software project management methodologies. How do teams execute this life cycle? This depends on the methodology. Four major ones are waterfall, sequential phases, each must complete before the next stage begins, best for stable, well understood requirements. Next, agile or scrum, iterative sprints with continuous feedback, best for evolving requirements and faster delivery. Next, Prince 2, process driven, stage based with defined roles, best for governance heavy, large organization. And finally, the spiral model, repeated cycles of planning, risk assessment, and prototyping, best for high risk complex problems. None of these is universally the best. The right choice depend on your requirements, risk profile, and organizational contexts. Categorization of software projects. Speaking of the context, project also get categorized. So the right management approach and level of formality can be applied. There are four common ways to classify a project: by size, small, medium, large, or very large, which determines how much documentation and control is actually needed. By application type, information systems, embedded, real time, or web and mobile, because different application type come with different technical and quality constraints. By criticality, business critical, safety critical, or non critical, which drives how rigorous your testing and risk management needs to be. And by contract type, fixed price, time, and material, or in house, which shapes your cost control and change management approach. So, before you even start planning, you need to know what kind of project is this. That answer shapes almost every decision that flows. Setting objectives. Now, let's talk about setting objectives because objectives define what success actually look like, and the gold standard here is the SMART framework. Yes, specific, a clearly defined, unambiguous target. Measurable. Progress and success can actually be quantified. A, achievable, realistic, given your resource and constraint. R, relevant, aligned with the organization overall strategy. T, time bound, it has a clear deadline or milestone. A couple of important notes here. Objectives should cascade from the overall business strategy down to the individual project targets. They need to be agreed with all key stakeholders, and they should be used later at the end of the project to actually judge whether it is succeeded. And if scope or context changes mid project, objectives should be reviewed too. Management principles. Let's zoom out for a second and talk about fundamental principles of management that underpin all these six classic functions: planning, deciding what needs to be done by whom and by when; organizing, arranging people and resources to carry out that plan; staffing, selecting and developing the right people for the project; directing, guiding and motivating the team toward the objective; controlling, monitoring progress and correcting any deviations; and coordinating, aligning the activities of different people and teams so everyone moves together. These six principles aren't unique to software, by the way. They come from classical management theory, but they apply just as strongly here. Management control. Now, one of those six, controlling, deserves its own closer look because it's really a continuous cycle, not a one time check. Here is how it works in four steps. Step one, plan. Set your business plan, cost, and schedule targets. Step 2, monitor. Collect actual progress data regularly. Step 3, compare. Compare those actuals against your basic baseline plan. And step 4, act or correct. Take corrective action to close any gap. And then this loop writes back to monitoring again. Plan, monitor, compare, correct, and repeat. That loop run continuously throughout the entire project. Project portfolio management. Zooming out even further, most organizations aren't running just one project, they are running many at once. That's where profile portfolio management comes in, selecting and balancing the mix of projects to maximize overall value versus risk. There is a really useful 2 by 2 model here based on risk and return. Pearls. are low risk, high return, your best case projects. Oysters are high risk, high return, big beats, bets that could play off hug. Huge. Bread and butter projects are low risk, low return, steady, reliable work, and white elephant are high risk, low return. Honestly, the ones you probably want to avoid or cancel. Good portfolio management balances short term wins against long term strategic bets, limits total risk exposure across the whole organization, and makes sure scarce resource go to the highest value project, reviewed periodically as strategy and markets shifts. Cost benefit and risk evaluation. Before committing funds to any project, organizations use cost benefit evaluation techniques. Five keynotes: net profit, total benefit minus total cost, payback period, how long it takes to recover your investment, return on investment or ROI, net present value NPV, which discounts further cash flow back to today's value, and internal rate of return IRR, the discount rate at which NPV equals zero. That core idea of discounting further money back to present value is really the foundation behind both NPV and IRR. And alongside the cost benefit analysis, the risk we have risk evaluation, a five-step process. Identify possible risk, technical, resource, schedule, or external. Analyze, estimate the probability and impact of each one. Prioritize, rank them using a probability times impact matrix. Plan a response, avoid, transfer, mitigate, or accept each significant risk. And finally, track risk throughout the project and keep updating your risk register. Strategic program management. Now, here is a concept students often mix up. A program is not the same as a project. A program groups related projects together, managed as one unit, so you gain benefits you would not get by managing each project individually. And it's all driven top down from organizational strategy. Programs make sure every project contributes to strategic goals, manage shared resources and dependencies across projects, realize benefits that span multiple projects, and importantly, they have governed by the program board, not just a single project manager. Next, stepwise planning. And finally, stepwise project planning, Rob Thompson 10-step framework for building a really solid project plan. Select the project and identify scope and objectives. Identify project infrastructure. Analyze project characteristic. Identify product and activities. Estimate effort for each activity. Identify activity risk. Allocate resources. Review or publish a plan. Execute lower level of plan, monitor and control project, which is a feedback loop. So let's wrap up with our key takeaways. Software project management brings discipline and visibility to inherently intangible software work. Stepwise planning and clear objective turn strategy into an executable plan. Cost benefit and risk evaluation justify and safeguard investment decisions. And portfolio and program management align every project with organizational strategy. That's unit 1 done. See you in the next video. Thank you.